Buenas and good morning. Welcome to Kandit News. I'm Johnnie Rosario.
And I'm Torres. It is Friday, the 28th of July, 2023, and welcome to our studio's Chief Meteorologist for the National Weather Service, Guam, Landon Aydlett. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. This is my first time to visit you all on site. So
Yeah, we just do the Zoom thing when there's a typhoon.
Yeah,
because you're always so busy. As I understand it, you're a little more busy for the next couple of weeks, and it's because of stuff that you're looking at, which is something we're going to talk about when we come back from our commercial break. All we've got today is the weather. We've got one magistrate's report. We've got some good news in our third segment about a sports team from University of Guam competing in Saipan right now, and the Mango Festival. So stick with us when we come back from this short commercial break. We'll bring you a full discussion about what to expect or what to look out for with the weather for the next couple of weeks here in the Mariana Islands. Life hack. Use the weekend to build the life you want and not to try to escape the life you have. Welcome back to our first segment of the show today, brought to you by 76 Circle K Guam. And this is by far my favorite of the leaderboards this month, because this speaks to me, I think. Because I used to use the weekend to escape the life that I had and believed that I wanted, and it was not a good life. I'm sorry. The fantasy I wanted to enter was not a good life to have, because I was always chasing something that was not real. And so, of course, bad habits. I really appreciate this one.
Well, I saw that quote too, and I think a lot of times people use that in their the career path. They are so ready to get out of a job, and they apply for anything and go to any other job just to get away from that job. And sometimes the grass is green on the other side. Sometimes it's AstroTurf. You have to make sure that you're going for the right motions and motivations.
No kidding, no kidding. And so it's Friday.
Yay.
It's Friday, and you know what I see Friday as? The day before Saturday. I will wake up tomorrow morning early. I will go to the gym. I will do work. I'll take care of my dogs and my cats. Gossip with my friends. Life will be normal. It will be the same, and the weekend means really nothing except for church on Sunday. It just means that church is coming, and a new week is coming, and that's what I see the weekend as now, and I'm so much happier and more joyous.
I like to sleep.
The sleep too, yeah. I get some good sleep on Sunday, where I wake up a little later, Thank you so much, Landon Aydlett. Landon, for joining us.
Absolutely, thank you.
We were having a short chat right before the show started about Johnnie was asking, what is it that brought you to Guam, and why did you decide to stay? But so thank you, because you took over the chief's job at a time when there weren't too many typhoons, and then a typhoon hit, and it was like boom, and you were pretty spot on.
Yeah, there's the the backstory about how I came over here, of course, a lot of people know that, but yeah, there's been tough times in my career over here in Guam in the Weather Service. There's always tough moments in every job, but really what kept me here on Guam and in this region were the people.
Nice.
And I've told that to my contacts at Homeland Security up the hill and also in Saipan, as well as the broader Micronesia region. It's the people that we care for, that we're supposed to care for, and to put out the best available weather forecasting information to everybody every day so that people know what actions to take to protect their lives and properties. And so it's the passion for the people, and that's what gets me through those tough moments.
Well, thank you for doing that, and thank you for saying so, because your last forecast for the typhoon and the warnings that you gave and the timing of those warnings very likely saved lives. And of course that goes along with Governor Lulian Guerrero's agreement with your forecasts so that she could make decisions that I thought saved lives.
Yeah, we were very forward-leaning with this typhoon.
Yeah, you didn't hold anything back.
Yeah.
To be very honest with you, the last weather person I remember was Barbara White. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, she's still around. Yeah,
She is?
she's still around. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
she's not doing the weather anymore.
no, I know that, but I remember as a kid, banana storm wasn't really a banana storm, and that was my last weather person, before.
Oh, because you weren't here for Pongsona.
No, none of that.
All right, I see.
Yeah.
Well, Landon, the reason we asked you to come onto the show is because we had a little discussion, we put it out in a news story about how we can expect wetter weather, and also how you are monitoring some situation closely for the next couple of weeks. You called it an active monsoon trough, I think it is.
Yeah.
What's going on? Do we have to be worried about anything?
And I'm trying to hold back a sneeze at the moment.
Oh, go for it.
But yeah, we're definitely in a busier period, and we put out our typhoon seasonal outlook back on June 29th, and so this is on our webpage. If you go to weather.gov/GUM, you'll find our seasonal outlook. This is something we started doing back in 2021. I know my predecessor, Chip Guard, would put out these outlooks on requests individually for islands, and so I wanted to culminate this to one regional product for all of the U.S. affiliated Pacific Islands. So I'm working with the Climate Prediction Center out of Washington, D.C., and we collaborate to put this together based on climatology, but also the climate pattern. Are we in a La Nina, INSO neutral, or an El Nino pattern? And so these climate patterns, they can affect weather globally, but for us in the Western Pacific, it has profound effects in regards to tropical cyclones. And so the last 3 years, it's been very slow. We've had very little tropical cyclone threats to Guam. And when I say tropical cyclone, that's just an encompassing term that includes tropical depressions at the lowest level, to tropical storms, typhoons, and super typhoons. And so you'll hear those terms from the Weather Service. But our 3 years of La Nina, that ended around winter this year, and then transitioned quickly to INSO neutral, and now we're in full-blown El Nino. And how strong will El Nino be, that remains to be seen, but it could be anywhere from a moderate to a strong El Nino later this year. And El Ninos shift tropical cyclone activity from the Philippines and areas west of Guam eastward. And so think back to 2015, we had a very busy year with Tropical Storm Bavi that struck Guam on March 15th. We had Typhoon Dolphin on May 15th. We had Chan Hom around 4th of July. So all of the holidays, all the festivals were affected. I remember talking to Josh at GVB. He says, when can we reschedule these events? And I said, as long as you keep scheduling events, we're going to keep spinning up weather. And so that's what it felt like. We had Pseudolor devastate Saipan in August of 2015. We had, I think it was 8 tropical cyclones push through the Mariana Islands between Guam and Anatahan in that 1 year alone. But
And
the last
then-
3 have been very slow.
And then in 2018, was it? There was U2
That
and
was
Mankut.
U2. Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, and then the U2 was devastating for Saipan and Tinian, am I correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And Mankut was devastating for Rhoda.
Yeah, that hit Rhoda as a Category 3 typhoon, and we were grazed. We were very fortunate with Mankut, and then even after it made its passage through the Mariana Islands, it blossomed further into a super typhoon.
Yeah.
And so when we look back to Mawar, that's the old document, but when we look back to Mawar, we were very fortunate with Mawar as well. I remember talking with the governor on Tuesday before it struck us on Wednesday evening. Every forecast, every bit of information that kept coming through to us on Tuesday was worse and worse and worse.
I remember
I
that.
And by Tuesday afternoon, evening, it was becoming an emotional situation because we're looking at the high likelihood of a U2 for Guam.
Yeah.
And so that would have been a worst case scenario. And fortunately, it went through a cyclical process Tuesday night, and it weakened quite a bit, went from a super typhoon category high-end 4 to a low-end category 4 typhoon. And it maintained that status all the way through its passage, only regaining intensity as it was moving away from Guam.
I was
And
still
so-
watching it when it was moving.
Into a super typhoon.
Yeah, I was watching it. Even when it passed us, I kept watching it. You know.
How were you watching it? You had
They had-
self-service?
They had that. Yeah.
You still had self-service
Yeah.
even after
yeah.
the typhoon?
It was like 2 days after is when it went out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I didn't have any self-service for when I woke up because I slept through the typhoon. When I woke up, it was SOS.
Yeah.
Sucked.
Yeah, actually, I won't say who, but I just got Wi-Fi back to my house a few days ago, thank God. But between my work phone and my personal phone, I'm on 2 different carriers.
I know who. You
And
don't even have to tell me.
my personal carrier didn't work, but my work phone did. And so I was hotspotting to my computer. I was doing Zoom conferences from home, interviews with international media from my upstairs patio with darkness behind me.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
It gave a good perspective on the condition on Guam, and I think it was a Sunday morning after the typhoon hit when traffic is all lined up down Route 3 with the gas
Getting
stations.
Yeah.
I did an interview with ABC News Australia, and we were up on the patio, and they said, "What is that traffic over there behind you?" And we were explaining it. It's like, this is everywhere all over Guam. And so it really gave a eye-opening experience to what the scene was like on Guam. And I think more so as an eye-opening experience for everyone that's younger than 25 years old on the island, because you can prepare and plan for a typhoon. The typhoon comes and goes, you survive, hopefully. But the aftermath, that can go from days to weeks to months.
Yeah.
And people up north, they're still picking up the pieces.
Yeah.
For most of us, it was extensive impacts, but for some, it was catastrophic.
Well, do any of us in Saipan, Tinian, Rota, or Guam have to worry about the development of any sort of storm over the next couple of weeks coming to this area?
For the next couple of weeks, I don't see any credible threats right now for a direct strike to Guam or the CNMI.
Okay.
But we are going into a busier period. Again, the key item that we look for in the region is the monsoon trough. And so that's where you have a good surge of southwesterly winds across Palau, Western Micronesia. And where those winds come up, they meet along that trough axis with the trade winds to the north. You get these little spinners, vortices.
So do you see in the thing they're showing right now with
Yes.
anything that's going on there?
And so you see that cluster of clouds right there on the south, the lower left side of the screen. That's southwestern areas. That's Palau, Yap State,
Yeah.
and Guam and CNMI.
That's that
all
tropical depression?
Yeah, all that west of us, that's the Tropical Depression 6W. That's our 6th tropical cyclone of 2023. Again, it's a very slow start to the year, which is good or bad, depending on your perspective. But
And that's not a threat to us, right?
that is not a threat to us.
But that's what's bringing the rains here today.
Yeah, that's what's
Right.
bringing us the showers today and the last couple of days with our gusty winds, the flash flood or the flood watches that
I
we've
love
had.
it. I love the gusty winds in the rain.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's relaxing.
I'm down with it.
If I'm not at work.
The heat.
But all that's going to be pushing away to the west or to the left side of the screen as 6W moves away. This is no longer a direct threat to any of the islands of Palau, Western Micronesia, or Guam, or the CNMI. So that is the good news. But that trough, we still have these southwesterly winds surging across Palau, surging across Yap State, and then westerly winds just north of the equator all the way through central Micronesia. And so we have a number of little suspect areas for circulations and areas of disturbed weather. That's what we call tropical disturbances. It's just an area of disturbed weather. And so you see that cluster to our southeast, that's near Chuuk, and then another one south of Pohnpei and Kosrae. We're going to be
that
watching
smaller cluster right in the dead center at the bottom of the screen.
Correct.
And then the one to the right, that's more the Marshall Islands area.
That's correct. So you see
Okay.
Kwajalein right up there, just northwest of your logo.
Do you see any spinning going on there?
There's very weak spinning.
Okay.
So this is the time of the year that we see little circulations across the region. Every typhoon, every tropical cyclone starts as a disturbance. but not every disturbance becomes a typhoon.
Okay.
So we have to keep that in mind. And so there's going to be a number of little circulations across the region. We're seeing that in the numerical forecast models now through the next 10 days. But we don't see much reason for any of those to develop significantly. So that's the good news. But we do have to watch it because things change. It's weather.
Real quick.
There are no guarantees with weather. There's generalizations, but we always have to watch. Now, in the Philippine Sea to our west, the models are really honing in on more of a broad level circulation, kind of like a monsoon gyre. It's just a very broad, large circulation in the Philippine Sea. And when that pattern develops, we can get several circulations or tropical cyclones develop in it. But none of them will really become that strong because they're competing for energy. They're usually in fairly close proximity. But the models are flirting with a number of tropical cyclones developing within that broad, large circulation
To the
our west.
Okay.
But right now, none of those look to be a credible threat to us. It's all still in the realm of speculation because it's a week into the future.
Okay.
And so anything beyond 3 or 4 days in the forecasts, you take it with a grain of salt because the forecast models really don't handle well in the tropics beyond 3 or 4 days.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. We can breathe a little sigh of relief then.
Yeah. The bottom line is we have to always watch. And if there's a threat, I'll be yelling my head off.
So we were having a discussion off the live about the likelihood of storms coming this way throughout this year. Can you talk to us more about that?
Yeah, definitely. And we put that on our outlook for the year. And I got to figure out, okay, I think it's this document here. Again, go to our webpage, our homepage, weather.gov/gum. And we talk about the seasonal outlook. And because of the shift toward El Nino in the last several months, that means our tropical cyclone activity shifts eastward. And so where a lot of stuff the last 3 years have developed near Chuuk, Yap, and Palau, or Guam, and then really becomes something more formidable and devastating to our west.
Philippines.
It's all shifting eastward. And so this is the trend we expect to see with El Ninos, and this is based off of storm climatology since the 1940s. So we bumped up our numbers for the expectations. We're still looking at the possibility of 5 to 8 tropical cyclones within the Guam and the Sinai region. So that doesn't mean a direct hit, but it means that we could see 5 to 8 tropical cyclones within our region through the end of the year. And then 3 to 5 of those could be typhoons, and some of those major, and we've already had one major one this year. But again, this is not a guarantee. This is a generalization based off of climatology and patterns and trends with the climate pattern.
How do typhoons work? Like, so there's Guam, right? And then there's a whole lot of ocean between Guam and Rota, and then some ocean between Rota and Tinian, some ocean between Tinian and Saipan, right? And then there's lots of ocean above Saipan to the next island. Are the typhoons drawn to the land area or something, or is that what happens?
There's questions, and we got these questions with the Mawar assessment. It's like, why was it going north of the forecast track, or going just to the right of the forecast track, which is what we saw like in the hours before the passage over Anderson, and then it starts hooking over? Is it a land effect? Is it some kind of frictional
like a magnet or something?
Not so much a magnet, but sometimes friction, land masses, land areas can have different effects, and I think we don't have quite the data pool of storms and passages, but Pangsanwa did a passage over northern Guam. It was supposed to pass east of us, but it kind of hooked over and made a direct passage over Guam. But Momar did similar. You also look at Daksuri, which passed just over northern Philippines. Was it any kind of a land frictional interaction that kept it close to the shore? I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been directly over northern Luzon in the last couple of days. Mawar could have been worse if it was 10 miles south. We'd still have a mess to clean up in central Guam. But yeah, those are things for the researchers because there's so many variables at play: the friction, the land, the plateau of northern Guam.
It's just that there's just so much more space where the ocean is. Like, why wouldn't it go over the Rota Channel?
Why did it hit this little island in the middle of the broad sea?
Yeah, exactly.
And these are things that I go through. It's like, who would have known at the start of the year that a storm would start in Chuuk State, southern Chuuk State,
come up this way,
and make a beeline for Guam?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Chuuk is kind of close to us, right? If you look at the map.
Well, I think it's God.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. God has a way of handling
Yeah.
things, you know?
And so that underscores our message: be prepared.
Yes.
And because we can be in a La Nina pattern, we expect very little activity across the region, but you
And
can
then
still get that
boom.
one. You can
Yeah.
still get that one
Yeah.
storm, or we can have an El Nino and expect all kinds of storms, and not take a single hit like we did in 2015. Not a single direct hit.
Do you see a higher probability of another Category 4 or even Category 5 storm coming in this general direction?
That's definitely a possibility, unfortunately. And so again, with the busy season expected for the remaining part of this year, yeah, that's always a possibility. And again, we've had one, and we have a lot of year ahead of us. Our peak season for tropical cyclones, September, October, November. And some of our notorious ones have been
Yeah.
December,
December.
like December 8th.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of year ahead of us. I'm trying to keep my travel schedule clear as
I
much
was
as
going to ask
possible.
you about that. You're in your job, you have to go throughout Micronesia.
Yeah.
And so, like, what happens when you're in the middle of, let's say you're in Pohnpei, and you're meeting with the national government over there of the FSM, and then you get a call from the weather office on Guam, and they say, you know what, we're looking at something. You just make a beeline back to Guam?
Yeah, I would probably be recalled.
Okay.
More so if I was on vacation or in the States. But if I'm in Micronesia, if we're looking at a Micronesia hit, then by all means, I'd probably stay in Pohnpei and assist them locally with the state national government. But if it's going to be more of a Guam hit, then I would either be recalled or I would bring myself over.
I'm going to follow
voluntarily.
your Facebook movements from now on.
Yeah. But I got so many trips lined up with different projects and programs we're working on right now. It's great. It's nice to have COVID out of the way and to have the borders open, but it's a busy schedule, and my biggest fear is to be away from Guam during a typhoon strike. And I was in the Marshall Islands, and I got word of a possible TC threat to Guam while I was in the Marshall Islands, and luckily my trip was wrapping up, and I got in, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, before we elevated things up the hill at Homeland Security that following Friday. And so that consumed my life for about 4 weeks before my next trip.
Even this guy,
We were in
it
Saipan.
consumed him.
Yeah.
Like Troy's a nerd when it comes to these things. He's like, oh, I think we need to go live. I need to report this.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, what are we reporting? Like, what is that? That is nothing. He's like, it's something.
See, that's such a big thing. We have to
Yeah.
be communicating this.
Yeah, yep.
Because unlike our stateside counterparts, every city, every large jurisdiction has television stations with broadcast meteorologists, and they're the communicators.
Yeah.
We don't have that out here, and so without the media, without Homeland Security and the JIC, the word's not getting out.
Well,
And
you always
so-
have Kandit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we
You
were
always
right
have-
on. So we were in Saipan.
Yeah.
We were in Saipan when we got the word. And we were just looking at it and then listening to what you were saying and reading the stuff that was coming out of Homeland Security. And I was like, we got to get home. And she's like, why? I was like, this is not going to Saipan. This is coming to Guam. Because
Yeah.
it was a question. Do we stay in Saipan for coverage of a typhoon that would hit Saipan? And there was some flirting with
Yeah.
it's going to Saipan.
Yep.
Or Tinian. And I was looking at it and I was like, no. This,
Yeah, we gotta go now.
Based off zero scientific knowledge, I was just like, this is coming to Guam. We gotta get
Yeah,
home.
and so Troy's, Troy kicked it on, and Eric and Troy, it consumed them for the next couple weeks. You know?
Yeah, and the weather does that. And I was talking with Homeland Security Office on Guam and in Saipan the days before that, and I said, we have a possibility of tropical weather affecting the islands. We're going to be watching it closely, but we're going to pull out the stops probably on Friday, depending on trends, because it's a weekend. It was a very nice weekend of weather, beautiful sunny skies that weekend.
Yet I remember we even interviewed the HSA,
In
Frank
Saipan.
Babalta, and his staff, and they were very prepared.
And kudos to them, because that was my takeaway when I spun things up on our side. Because I was looking at a timeline similar to that of Typhoon Mangkhut. It was a Tuesday storm. We're looking at a Monday, Tuesday storm, and the weekend. Everything shuts down on the weekends. And so if we're not communicating, getting the word out on Friday before the end of business day, a lot of people are going to miss the information. And so Friday morning, I contacted both Homeland Security offices and said, this is my concern. We have a threat. It may not be a direct hit to any of our islands, but it also may be a direct hit to any one of our islands. But look at these intensities. These are some of the intensity projections in the models. I said, this is what has me worried. And so Friday, that's when we spun up the operations. I called for a strategy meeting with FEMA, Homeland Security, Guam, and CNMI on Saturday morning. I said, I want your timelines, your needs, your wants, and figure out how we're going to play this out, because we're going to escalate this every 12 hours until this passes, because this is looking more and more credible. And
Your activation was on point.
yeah, kudos to Homeland Security, kudos to FEMA, kudos to the governors of both Guam and CNMI, because we spun things up rapidly, and people, especially in the CNMI, they were ready because they're experts.
They were
They
very
had
ready.
U2, they had Pseudolore, and so
I
they're
believe
ready
they
to
had
play
a
ball.
partial activation, if I'm not mistaken, that weekend.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
so-
Eric stood outside Homeland for a while.
Oh, yeah,
Remember
that's
when they
right.
didn't let them in, or
Yes, yeah,
something
yeah.
happened?
They wouldn't let them.
They wouldn't let Eric in.
But that's disaster recovery, which is a whole other subject. You guys are not involved in disaster recovery. You guys just prepared us for the disaster, and we were very well prepared for the disaster. And credit goes to National Weather Service Guam and Governor Lulian Guerrero for the excellent preparation for Typhoon Mawar. I hope that when the next one comes, we get that same sort of preparation, same sort of forewarning and caution, and that the governor doesn't change how she handled the pre-typhoon strategy.
Yeah.
I think that should be a model for all future governors.
I think so too. And again, I'm not going to comment on anything after the storm's passage.
that's a whole different story.
That's
Yeah.
not my jurisdiction, but the that's all the Weather Service. And so we have to make sure people are warned and prepared in advance of whatever threat. Even if there's not a threat, we have Typhoon Preparedness Month in June, we have National Preparedness Month in September. This is educational outreach opportunities to make people aware of things and how they can make those changes. And so in advance of the next one, whether it's next week, next month, or next year, think back to Mawar. What worked well with your family, your personal plans and preparations? What works well with your office plans? What didn't work so well? And I got my whole list of things that didn't work well at home.
Do you have a suggestion for the type of, let's say people don't trust aluminum shutters, or they can't afford the aluminum shutters, or it's just a matter of expediency. They want to use plywood. Is marine plywood like what to get? Like what kind of plywood should people get?
You know, I can't answer on that because I'm not familiar with it, but talk to the construction folks. Talk to them what works well, what have they seen that works well, what doesn't work well, what are their recommendations. Putting tape on windows, probably not the best idea.
Oh, that doesn't
I
work?
think that that's to keep the glass together.
Yeah,
it's
it-
not to keep it
keeps
from
it
blowing.
crumbling and
From
some of the
shattering,
pieces.
yeah.
Yeah. But I'd rather cover the windows completely, but the accordion shutters, those are my favorite because they're quick and easy.
Yeah.
But they're expensive, I think.
They're expensive,
Yeah,
but it's an investment.
Well,
It's an investment in
anybody
your property.
around Teton or the old hospital, you better get some shutters because that's
Yeah.
the dump sites,
Well,
you know?
we were talking about the yesterday
Yeah.
with Mike Nicholas, the dump
Yeah.
sites. You know, I mean, those have got to be cleared before the next typhoon. Are you having that conversation with anyone in the government?
No, I'm not a part of those conversations.
I mean, but it's a real thing, right? In preparation for the next one,
Yeah.
those are just projectiles
Yeah,
waiting
that
to
is
happen.
something to think about.
Yeah.
Because we always talk about loose items.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of
Yeah.
loose items out there, and I fear for the people that live across the street. Because, I mean, depending on the storm's passage, it could go one way or it could go the other way.
Yeah.
And it can go far.
And it can go far.
They can go far, especially those things. A lot of those things that are there.
Yeah, we
Next.
had 13 solar panels from our neighboring facility up in Teton, and 9 of those landed in our property. 2 of them cleared all the way across our property, went over a FAA barrier fence into the tarmac on the other side of our facility.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And to think those large panels, almost as tall as I was,
Made it.
blew through that.
Yeah.
like they were pieces of paper.
Yeah, it's
the wind.
fascinating.
Yeah.
When you think of what the wind can do and what it has done, it's really awe-inspiring. It's fascinating. It's terrifying.
Well, that video of that twin cab Tacoma.
Yeah,
just
flipping.
flipping over
Yeah.
3-4 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think that when I saw that, I was like, that's not Guam. That's like Louisiana or something.
That
like
was my first thought when I saw it. I'm like, I have to look, and it's like, where is this? And is that a Guam structure? And
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy. And then anyway, thank you so much, Landon, for at least giving us some a little bit of breathing room here for the next couple of weeks. but you will be watching just in case, because you said that things can change on a
Absolutely.
dime, right?
And so don't let your guard down. We're late July. We have
Yeah,
all
still
of
prepare
August, September,
now.
October, November to get through. Things change. Weather happens. So you're ready or you're not, and it's best to be ready. And ask questions. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, you're following us on Facebook, you're watching our webpage, if you have a question about anything, our terminology, our text bulletins, our products, call me, message me, find me on Facebook, call our office, send us a message.
And follow National Weather Service Guam on Facebook.
Because we want to talk to people. It has to be a two-way conversation because we have so many technical terms and jargon, and if you don't understand the difference between a watch and a warning, let us know.
Well, the other thing you do, by the way, before we let you go, we were talking about how you and your brother, you have is it Watchtowers for Humanity?
Oh yeah, the Tower for Humanity.
Tower for Humanity, and how that's expanding into something even bigger this year. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, we actually have another project in the works with the Kandit Shopping Center, and so they wanted an event this year, and we just want an excuse to build. I have a whole bedroom full of the world's largest collection of Lincoln logs, and so we just want a reason and a place to build.
And
We're
but
gonna,
the last fundraiser was for Habitat for Humanity.
That's
So money
correct.
was raised. Landon and his brother were able to donate that money to Habitat for Humanity. So this round is probably going to be a lot bigger and better, right?
So we raised about $20,000 for Habitat last year, which is great because one of our goals was to, of course, break 2 Guinness World Records. But the other goal was to bring the island together for a good cause, and people showed up, and so that was really heartwarming. And so we want to do that again. We like to build, but we also want to pair it with a cause because it's such a big operation. And so we've partnered with Be Heartfelt, the charity that feeds school kids in need. And so I met with the founder of Be Heartfelt, and we really want to partner with them to do an island-wide food drive to help them, especially people that are in need after Typhoon Mawar.
Yeah.
People are hurting. People are suffering, and so we're going to do a 9/11 themed event. We're going to break ground around August 25th or 26th at the Kandit Shopping Center. This will be a much bigger project than what the Tower for Humanity was in June of 2022. It's going it won't be as tall, but it's going to be several towers, and we're going to have upwards of 25,000 more blocks in play.
And you're going to recreate the Twin Towers?
We're going to do a scale version of the Twin Towers, and we hope to also bring awareness and recognition to our first responders. That's Guam Police, Guam Fire, Homeland Security, and other military partners. So we really want to get first responders involved, whether they want to be a fundraiser on their own or just for awareness and recognition, maybe job recruiting. I know that the fire department is short a number of firefighters organizationally. If they want to link up with us as a job recruitment, we would love to do that. But we're going to break ground around end of August, and we hope to build through the following week and then have a bunch of events on Labor Day Monday, September 4th, including people with Be Heartfelt and organizations on island to participate in a food drive and then compete with each other with a construction competition. It'll be a first ever for Guam, where people will collect food, canned food or other items, and then build it into a tower of sorts for a competition at the Kandit Shopping Center on Labor Day. So a lot of information. We're going to be packaging the details very soon and then put that out to the media for distribution.
And we'll certainly cover it. How do you deal with kids who want to run into the construction site?
We have bodyguards.
Okay, good. Good, just knows.
We have a great security team. They're all plain clothes, so you won't recognize them.
Okay, good, good. I'm glad. We don't want the kids getting hurt, you know.
It's all for safety.
If I saw a kid do that, I'd be like, get your kid in.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to the police chief. Hopefully they'll be there.
Naughty
Kids will be arrested.
The kids. Well, thank you so much, Landon, for joining us.
Thank you.
We hope to have you back in studio to talk about preparedness and not about a typhoon, but we're likely going to have one. And so you're always welcome on our show, either in studio or via Zoom. Thank you so much for helping the people of Guam, all of our people. When we come back, we'll bring you we only have one crime report today, a guy named David Matzo. We'll bring you that when we come back from this commercial break. Stick with us.
feel that this environment is for anybody that wants to try something new. Whether it is CrossFit or powerlifting, we offer a safe space for someone who's never been athletically inclined to try something that they've never done before.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on this lovely wet Friday.
I love it.
Oh, so if anybody is wondering why I'm dressed in this sweater, my 16-year-old son went to a camp,
Wrestling
camp. So I just wanted to wear it and show it off. That's
And
all.
support him.
Yeah.
He's a good wrestler, right?
Great.
He's a great wrestler. He's
Yes.
been winning against his stateside competition.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, can we? I want chicken noodle soup, but I don't know if they still have it at Winchell's.
They always have.
They didn't
it's
have
always.
chicken noodle yesterday.
I know, but
They had our scuddy though.
it's an all-day thing. So
Okay.
they always, right?
I know you like clam chowder, but I want chicken noodles, so I'm craving that.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, well, this segment is brought to you by Winchell's.
So we have one magistrate's report. Still no, but great news, guys. Major
Major Anton
Anton
back?
going to be back. No, August 4.
August 4.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah,
next week. That's
so
next week. Oh,
yes,
okay.
thank you
That's
very
like
much.
next week, Thursday or something. It's so late.
On July 25th at 6:35 a.m., Guam Police Department responded to a disturbance. The victim allegedly, or no, I'm not the victim, the perpetrator, David Jr. Kanata Mata, allegedly they had an argument. He left and decided to come back. And when he came back is when
The physical violence.
violence.
Happened.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So there was witnesses. The officers spoke to the victim, and
There
so
were
he was charged.
Children witnesses.
Yes.
that-
Based on the foregoing, there's probable cause to charge David Jr. Kanata Mata with family violence.
He was born in 1977, so that makes him what?
46.
Oh, he just turned 46. Happy belated birthday, Mr. Mata. His birthday was July 24, 1977.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, this was a day after his birthday. This was
Yes.
July 25
Yeah.
that this allegedly happened. All right. Well, we don't have to throw to a break, right? I mean, that was just one.
No, can we just
magistrate.
go into it?
Yeah, let's just go into
get
it.
into it.
Yeah.
Mango Festival. I am surprised we are having a mango festival.
But you heard Landon, right? Like the trees in the south weren't
not,
really
yeah,
affected. So that's
yeah.
because I was wondering the same thing. How do we have mangoes? Like,
Yes.
did they import them? Or?
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
So today, it starts today at 6 p.m.
Saturday is 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And it's going to be at Sagan Basita stage area, or no, Sagan Basita. Where is that? Agate.
That's where like the post office and the mayor's office and all that are. There's a raffle, right? This is
Yes,
what we're looking at.
$5 booklet and $1 per ticket.
Need not be present to win. The grand prize is $3,000. The baby grand is $1,000.
Nice.
Yeah, you can win some money.
So yeah, Mango Festival is brought to you by SPPC.
There's a whole program that they have
Yeah,
for tonight.
Bendishon, Guam Hin, opening prayers, Malak Montnya, and mixed plate, and then fireworks. Oh, there's fireworks tonight.
Will they have, like-
Agate, of course, has fireworks.
Will they have those food trucks?
You know, I don't know. It doesn't
I've
say.
never been to them. I've never been to any of the festivals actually. Like the
doesn't
only
say.
fiesta I ever go to is the Marito Fiesta.
Wow, this is a big event, huh?
Yeah, it normally is.
Easy and they're gonna have all kinds of things down there. The community center will have all kinds of vendors. Sagambasita will have the barbecue places. Yes, so I think they are.
There's a Bigga and Betta performing from 4 p.m. to 5:30 tomorrow. That's Saturday, July 29th. Is that Chris Carrillo?
I think so.
Bigga and Betta? That
think
sounds
so.
like him, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I will go just to watch him. Maybe we'll go with Carlos Pangilinan, our Kandit co-owner, who's meaner than the both of us put together.
Yeah, guys, and Goats and Giggles will be down there, so make sure you bring the kids.
When will they be there?
I think it says here.
That's where you can pet the goats, right?
Yeah.
I actually need to do that.
They have everything. They have chickens, turtles, goats, ducks. They have a carabao, all of that. Yeah, Goats and Giggles, guys.
Oh, there's a lot of booths. So they have, can you go back to that 2-page one that's in one page?
Yeah.
They have a lot of booths. This is like more than the carnival.
There's a kiddie carnival ride.
So you see that upper page there? I don't know if you're able to zoom in. Look at all those boxes. Those are boxes of booths. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of like coded or whatever. I'm gonna guess one of the codes, like K or C or F, is food. Oh, food is probably F, right?
No, K's Big Boy Burger. No, K's food too.
Oh, okay. There's a legend on the second. The second sheet
K3
has a
is
legend.
Easy and D's, and then K4 is barbecue Pinoy Denoy or Pinoy or something. I can't read this. Eric, stop
I
laughing
think it says
at me.
Denoy's barbecue.
Oh, Sonny's will be there. Sonny's.
Oh, you know, I think.
You know, the last time I ate there, I ate the oxtail.
Did you go to sleep? You went to sleep right after?
Oh man, I don't
the
even think
best
I was
sleep.
up 50 minutes.
I made shank soup last night. It was delicious. God bless you, Eric Rosario.
Who
It's
else
not
is going to
COVID.
be here? There's going to be jewelry, all kinds of stuff, guys. Go down there and support local. Yeah, cool.
And please, young men of Guam, don't fight with the military.
Don't have no beer balls.
Please do not cause trouble with the military just because they're the military. Be nice. Or is that just our generation that was like that?
No.
It's still going on?
Still.
Remember our
Boys will be
generation?
boys.
Oh my goodness, going to the
Boys will
club.
be boys.
I swear our friends just caused fights. There was no bad look.
Like
There
that?
was no stare.
Why are you looking at me
It-
like that?
Is there anything? Oh yes, that's right. We had God bless you. Congratulations, or actually good luck, because it's happening now. Good luck to the UOG Tritons men's baseball team. They are over in Saipan right now competing in a tournament, and there's also a UOG clinic that's happening. Here's the team going for the tournament. Now, I'm not entirely sure if the next picture has the same exact people in it, or if it's a separate picture. I mean, if it's a picture of other people for the clinic, or if it's the same thing. Yeah.
It's Eric Sprim.
Yeah,
Right.
Mark Mendiola is there. So thank you, Roki Alcantara, for sending these pictures and the information. We'll put this out separately as well. But good luck to our Tritons who are competing right now in Saipan. And this makes it our second team that's off island right now.
Yes, but I have an update on our boys. They lost yesterday's match
who?
against Woodland. I don't ask me where Woodland's from.
They have that's where they're at. They have the home court advantage.
Yeah, okay, so it's 21-6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Woodland's pretty good then.
Yeah.
Okay. Either that or Guam was having a bad day.
No, they did their best. They went out there.
Do they have another competition coming up?
I believe they have another one today and tomorrow. It's all the way up until the 20, or today's the 28th, right?
Today is the 28th on Guam.
So yeah, one more day.
Could it
One
be
more day.
it's against Alabama?
I don't know. I don't know, but that's the update. 21-6, and they lost to Woodland.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
good luck, boys. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for representing us. Thank you all for joining us for this Friday edition of Kandit News and our Buenas and holiday wear
Yes, and
Friday.
my
No
Turla.
tie. No long sleeve shirt and tie today. Just feeling good about my attire. You guys have a wonderful day. God bless you all. Peace be with you.
Ilinala Ipalawan, Sinyabula, Minaletnya, Agan Bravo, Itatataunya.
Yet cervical cancer continues to pose a constant risk to women today due to low awareness.
Cervical cancer pasiye masek lan matan sa kontilokinyaki. Fingom somono, pap smear and HP vaccination isa na kashing tilokinya.
Dapat ko radil amla mugar. Ego mga laklangar radil. Nagtamarera na muraw usong ala, yung raw gurula. Ramak nitalak ta, rektel umaralir.
Ang mga babaeng may edad 21 pataas ay kailangang magpapaptest kada 3 taon.
Sa ravin na sampartua, lari sa kwano, anana at okin sila ng HPV.
Ewa fesin, todo kuwan foundation. Ato geriawak na test, may oposud, ewa semwet HPV. Eri fefire sa rifirifit, iya patufit singeriare pagi. Ekyarin ni sakao, dari tentu burut, nanabut, may apatsakurel fefil medicine. Kirisam.
Tampatilin cervical cancer arangan prevent na från avfekatjusharum, nuviniyal mahabugun kotafulaika cervical cancer.
Ara ko min matan fukokos.
Be a well woman.
Mga pakla ba dingiw?
Tufna kada pinipin ang raiwige da halfroday.
Piata li Landon.
Zangin megat Itatataunya.
Maging malusog po tayong mga kababaihan.
Kitsvefi si puede petiveteresi Torres sawal sits puede papatsakut. Take the first step to becoming a well woman and call Todu Guam Clinic today at 671-649-TODU to schedule an appointment.
I feel that this environment is for anybody that wants to try something new. Whether it is CrossFit or powerlifting, we offer a safe space for someone who's never been athletically inclined to try something that they've never done before.